Imagine living each day convinced that everything is unfolding perfectly for you. No frantic worry, no self-doubt, only calm confidence that life is conspiring in your favor. This mindset isn't fantasy, it's a practical strategy for success. Let's explore how to adopt it. Your mindset is the silent architect of your life. The way you consistently think about yourself and the world around you lays the foundation for everything you experience. Before a single action is taken, before a single goal is reached, the first blueprint is drawn in your mind. If those mental blueprints are weak, scattered, or filled with doubt, it doesn't matter how much effort you pour into your work. You'll find yourself struggling against an invisible current. But when you deliberately cultivate thoughts of confidence, optimism, and possibility, you create a powerful internal environment where success can thrive. Think of your mind as fertile soil. Whatever seeds you plant, positive or negative, will eventually sprout. When you nurture beliefs like, "I can handle any challenge," or "every obstacle is an opportunity," you set in motion a chain reaction. Those beliefs guide your emotions, and your emotions fuel your actions. Someone who truly believes they can find a way will look for solutions instead of excuses. They'll push a little longer, stay a little later, learn one more skill, and keep their eyes open for the small break that others might overlook. That persistence often makes the difference between those who reach their goals and those who give up too soon. Science backs this up. Modern research on neuroplasticity shows that our brains are constantly rewiring themselves in response to our dominant thoughts. Each time you focus on a possibility rather than a limitation, you strengthen neural pathways that support creativity, problem-solving, and resilience. Over time, these pathways become highways. Your default response to setbacks becomes, "I can figure this out," instead of, "This always happens to me." That mental conditioning is not just motivational fluff, it's biology in action. Your mindset also shapes how the world reacts to you. People are naturally drawn to those who project calm assurance and a positive outlook. Employers, clients, friends, and even strangers sense when someone carries themselves with quiet confidence. Opportunities often flow toward those who seem ready for them, because others trust that such a person will handle responsibility well. By choosing empowering thoughts, you subtly broadcast reliability and strength without saying a word. It's important to note that shaping your mindset doesn't mean ignoring reality or pretending problems don't exist. It means choosing the lens through which you view those problems. Two people can face the exact same situation. One sees a dead end, the other sees a detour. The difference lies entirely in the mental framework they bring to the moment. When you believe that your thoughts create momentum, every challenge becomes a chance to practice resourcefulness and patience. Cultivating a success-oriented mindset requires daily attention. Begin by noticing the tone of your inner dialogue. Are you quick to criticize yourself? Do you replay failures instead of lessons? Catch those thoughts early and replace them with constructive ones, even if it feels awkward at first. Over time, repetition will shift your default perspective. Visualization can help too. Spend a few quiet minutes each morning picturing the outcomes you want as if they're already happening. This primes your brain to spot opportunities that align with your vision. Ultimately, the power of mindset lies in its ability to direct everything else: your habits, your choices, your relationships, and your future. When you choose thoughts that support growth and possibility, you design a reality where success is not an accident, but an expectation. Your life will inevitably reflect the dominant patterns of your mind, because the world outside you often mirrors what you consistently hold inside. Confidence creates opportunity because it sends an unmistakable signal to both your own mind and to the world around you. When you carry yourself with confidence, you broadcast a quiet certainty that draws people in. Others sense it even before you speak. They feel that you trust yourself, and that trust becomes contagious. Opportunities, whether in business, relationships, or personal growth, gravitate toward individuals who project assurance. It is not arrogance or bravado, it is a steady conviction that you are capable of handling what comes your way. This inner certainty acts like a magnet. People are naturally inclined to support, invest in, and collaborate with someone who clearly believes in their own ability to succeed. Confidence begins as an internal decision. It is a choice to believe in your capacity even when the outcome is not guaranteed. Many people wait for success before they allow themselves to feel confident. But the truth is the opposite. Confidence is often the cause of success rather than its result. When you decide to trust yourself before there is proof, you create a powerful psychological shift. Your posture changes, your voice gains strength, your thoughts become solution-oriented, These subtle shifts influence how you approach tasks and how others respond to you. A job interview, a new venture, or a creative project all require that leap of belief before tangible evidence appears. Opportunities rarely arrive neatly packaged or at a perfect time. They show up as conversations, small chances, unexpected meetings, or sudden challenges. Without confidence, it is easy to hesitate, to doubt, to let fear take the lead. But when you cultivate a mindset of certainty, you are more willing to step forward. You volunteer for projects, share your ideas, and take calculated risks. Each action, no matter how small, signals to others that you are reliable and ready. People notice the energy of someone who is willing to act decisively. That energy inspires trust, and trust opens doors. Confidence also reshapes how you view failure. Instead of seeing a setback as proof of inadequacy, you interpret it as feedback, a chance to adjust and improve. This resilience encourages you to keep pursuing opportunities even after a disappointment. The willingness to try again demonstrates strength, and that persistence often leads to breakthroughs that a hesitant person would never experience. Confidence, therefore, is not the absence of doubt, but the determination to move forward despite it. Developing this quality does not require waiting for a dramatic moment. It grows through daily practice, speaking positively to yourself, preparing thoroughly for challenges, and stepping slightly beyond your comfort zone each day. Each small victory reinforces the belief that you can rely on your abilities. Over time, those repeated experiences build an unshakable foundation. People sense when your confidence comes from genuine self-trust rather than a facade. Authentic confidence draws lasting opportunities because it is rooted in consistent action and learning. In every field, whether art, science, business, or personal relationships, those who create the greatest impact are not necessarily the most talented at the start. They are the ones who dare to show up with conviction, who carry themselves as if their contributions matter, and who invite others to join them on their journey. By choosing to believe in yourself before the evidence appears, you generate a momentum that attracts the right people, the right moments, and the right possibility. Confidence, sustained and practiced, becomes the quiet force that turns potential into reality and transforms ordinary days into extraordinary opportunities. Expectation is one of the most powerful forces shaping our lives, because it directly guides the way we behave long before a result appears. When you genuinely believe that things will work out, you carry yourself differently. Your posture is steadier, your voice has a quiet confidence, and the choices you make reflect a person who is certain of success. This is not superstition or wishful thinking. It is a psychological and practical principle. The mind looks for evidence to support what it already believes. If you expect positive outcomes, your attention naturally filters opportunities, resources, and ideas that align with that belief. That is why people who hold high expectations often notice possibilities that others overlook. Imagine two individuals starting the same new project. One doubts that anything will come from it. Their actions are hesitant, their effort half-hearted. The other expects the project to succeed. They plan carefully, show up early, and follow through when obstacles appear. Over time, who is more likely to see the project flourish? The difference isn't luck. It is the natural result of expectation steering consistent action. Any expectation acts like an inner compass. It sets the direction long before the destination comes into view. Even when external circumstances look uncertain, that inner certainty keeps you moving forward instead of giving up. This principle also influences the way we respond to setbacks. A person who expects failure sees a single challenge as proof that the effort is pointless. A person who expects success interprets the same challenge as feedback, information to adjust and improve. They refine their strategy, keep learning, and persist until they find a way. In this way, positive expectation builds resilience. It is the belief that a temporary delay is not a final defeat, but simply a step in the process. Over time, that mindset compounds into remarkable achievements. Another subtle effect of expectation is how it shapes relationships. People are naturally drawn to those who radiate confidence in a favorable outcome. When you project assurance, others sense reliability and are more inclined to collaborate or invest in your vision. Opportunities often arrive through connections, and those connections grow stronger when you carry an attitude of things will work out. This is not about arrogance, it is about trust. Trust in yourself and in the process of growth. Practical application begins with self-awareness. Listen to the words you speak about your future. If they are filled with doubt, intentionally replace them with language of possibility. Visualize the results you desire, not just as distant dreams, but as realities you are steadily approaching. Take small, deliberate actions every day that align with the outcome you expect. Each action reinforces the belief, and each belief fuels the action in a reinforcing cycle. Expectation is therefore both a mindset and a discipline. Ultimately, expecting things to work out is not naive optimism. It is a strategy for consistent progress. It focuses your energy, strengthens your persistence, and signals to others that you are someone worth supporting. When you choose to expect a positive outcome, you create a self-fulfilling momentum. The world may still present challenges, but your unwavering expectation directs your thoughts and actions towards solutions. Over time, that steady direction turns hope into tangible success, proving that what you believe deeply enough to act upon can indeed become real. Resilience through faith is the quiet strength that allows a person to keep moving forward when the path seems uncertain or even impossible. It is not a loud display of bravado, but an inner conviction that life has a way of balancing itself, that every difficulty contains a hidden opportunity, and that persistence will eventually pay off. This kind of resilience is fueled by the belief that things are ultimately working for your good, even when circumstances look unfavorable in the moment. When you hold the mindset that everything is unfolding in your favor, setbacks lose their power to paralyze you. Instead of interpreting a challenge as a personal failure or an omen of doom, you start to see it as a temporary detour or a lesson waiting to be learned. For example, someone who loses a job might initially feel fear or frustration, but with faith in eventual positive outcomes, that person can view the loss as an invitation to explore a new career, develop new skills, or start a venture they had long postponed. The situation itself does not magically change, but the meaning assigned to it does, and that meaning shapes action. This inner faith does not require a specific religious belief. It is a broader trust in the natural order of growth and change. Think of how seasons work. Winter always yields to spring. In the same way, tough seasons in life eventually transition into periods of growth and renewal. Resilience through faith draws on that universal rhythm. You remind yourself that just as the earth cycles from darkness to light, so will your personal journey move from difficulty to ease if you keep taking steady, purposeful steps. A key element of this resilience is emotional regulation. Faith allows you to remain calm under pressure because you no longer feel that every outcome must be controlled by sheer force. When things do not go as planned, instead of spiraling into anxiety or anger, you can pause, breathe, and assess the next best move. This calm presence of mind is not passive resignation, it is active acceptance, which gives you the clarity to make better decisions. People around you sense that steadiness and often respond with support and trust, further strengthening your ability to navigate obstacles. Consider the stories of innovators and leaders throughout history. Many faced repeated failures before achieving breakthroughs. Their common thread was not luck alone, but a deep conviction that their efforts would eventually bear fruit. That conviction kept them refining their ideas, seeking feedback, and trying again, long after others might have quit. Faith in a positive resolution becomes the fuel that keeps your engine running when the road is long and uncertain. Resilience through faith also nurtures patience. Modern life often rewards quick results, but real transformation frequently takes time. By trusting the process, you develop the ability to endure delays without losing motivation. This patience is powerful. It keeps you from making rash decisions, helps you maintain relationships during stressful times, and allows solutions to emerge naturally. Ultimately, this form of resilience is a daily practice. It is reinforced by the thoughts you choose, the words you speak, and the habits you build. Every morning you can decide to trust that today's efforts will lead to tomorrow's successes, even if you cannot see the full picture yet. Over time, this faith becomes second nature, a steady flame that lights your path through uncertainty. It is not about ignoring reality. It is about holding a reality larger than the immediate challenge, a reality where perseverance and trust guide you toward growth, opportunity, and eventual triumph. Positive self-talk is far more than simply repeating cheerful phrases to yourself. It is a deliberate mental practice that shapes the way you experience the world. Every thought you entertain creates a subtle chemical and electrical response in the brain. Over time, those responses carve pathways, habits of thinking, that guide how you feel, how you act, and ultimately the results you get. If most of your internal dialogue is critical, doubtful, or pessimistic, those mental grooves make it easier to feel anxious and harder to take constructive action. But when you intentionally choose words that support, encourage, and affirm your abilities, you begin to rewire those pathways, making optimism and confidence your default mode. Imagine the difference between waking up and thinking, "I'm already behind, I can't handle today," versus starting with, "I have the skills to meet what comes my way." The first thought tightens your body, narrows your attention, and primes you for stress. The second creates a small surge of calm and clarity that influences every choice that follows. Over weeks and months, these seemingly small shifts add up. Your tone when speaking to colleagues softens. You notice opportunities that would have been hidden behind self-doubt. You approach challenges with curiosity instead of fear. And positive self-talk is not about denying reality or pretending difficulties do not exist. It is about framing events in a way that keeps you resourceful. For example, rather than saying, "I always mess things up," you might say, "I didn't get it right this time, but I can learn and improve." The facts remain, the task wasn't perfect, but the second statement focuses on growth and possibility. This subtle change nurtures resilience, which is essential when pursuing long-term goals. To cultivate this habit, start by noticing your automatic thoughts throughout the day. Many people are surprised at how harsh their internal voice can be. When you catch a negative phrase, pause and ask, "Is this thought absolutely true? Would I say it to a friend?" If the answer is no, replace it with a more constructive alternative. Instead of, "I can't handle this," try, "I can take one step at a time." Consistency matters more than perfection. Each replacement strengthens a more empowering narrative. Visualization can reinforce this practice. Spend a few minutes daily imagining yourself succeeding in a specific situation, delivering a confident presentation, completing a workout, handling a difficult conversation. As you picture these scenarios, use language that supports the image. "I'm prepared. I'm calm. I can figure this out." Over time, your brain begins to treat these mental rehearsals as experience, so when the real moment arrives, you feel more capable and composed. The ripple effect of positive self-talk reaches beyond personal feelings. People around you respond to your energy. When you speak and carry yourself with assurance, you invite cooperation and respect. Challenges that once seemed overwhelming start to appear as manageable projects. You notice patterns of success forming, not because the world suddenly becomes easier, but because you meet it with a mindset primed for solutions. Ultimately, positive self-talk is an ongoing education in how powerful words can be, especially the ones you say to yourself. By choosing language that reflects possibility and growth, you train your mind to look for paths forward instead of walls. That internal conversation becomes a steady ally, guiding you through setbacks and amplifying every victory, until encouragement is no longer something you reach for, but a natural part of who you are. Daily visualization is far more than a pleasant daydream. It is a deliberate mental rehearsal that conditions your mind to achieve the outcomes you desire. When you consistently picture your goals as already accomplished, you create a vivid blueprint that your subconscious mind eagerly works to fulfill. Neuroscience shows that the brain often does not distinguish between a vividly imagined event and a real one. That means when you visualize success, your brain fires the same neural pathways it would if you were actually experiencing it. Over time, those pathways strengthen, making your actions more confident and purposeful. Imagine an athlete stepping onto the field. Before a single muscle moves, they have already played the game in their mind hundreds of times. They see themselves executing every motion with precision, and that mental rehearsal sharpens their physical performance. The same principle applies to everyday life. Whether you are preparing for an important presentation, planning a career move, or striving for better health, daily visualization primes you for real-world success. The key is specificity. Instead of a vague wish, "I want to be successful," picture the exact scene, the sights, the sounds, the emotions. See the room where you present your ideas with clarity. Feel the steady rhythm of your heartbeat as you speak with confidence. Hear the applause or the quiet nod of approval from those who matter. The more detailed the mental image, the more powerful the impact. Your subconscious takes these images as instructions and quietly guides your choices and behaviors to align with them. Consistency matters just as much as detail. A few scattered attempts won't create lasting change. Make visualization a daily ritual, ideally at the same time each morning or evening. Close your eyes, breathe deeply, and spend at least 5 minutes fully immersed in the picture of your desired outcome. Let yourself experience the feelings of success, pride, relief, joy as if they are happening right now. Those emotions are the fuel that locks the vision into your nervous system. Over time, this practice influences how you perceive opportunities and obstacles. Instead of focusing on problems, your mind begins to notice possibilities that match your vision. You might suddenly think of a helpful contact, a new strategy, or a creative solution that had been invisible before. It is not magic, it is your brain filtering the world through the lens you have deliberately set. Visualization also reinforces resilience. When challenges arise, and they will, you have already rehearsed triumph in your mind. You know the feeling of overcoming setbacks because you have lived it in your imagination. That familiarity breeds calm and confidence, allowing you to respond with clarity instead of panic. To strengthen the practice even further, combine visualization with action. After picturing your ideal outcome, identify one small step you can take today that moves you closer to it. Each action, no matter how minor, tells your mind that the vision is real and worth pursuing. The synergy between mental imagery and concrete effort creates unstoppable momentum. Daily visualization, when done with focus and emotion, is a powerful educational tool for your own mind. It teaches you to expect success, to act with purpose, and to remain steadfast when the path is not easy. By rehearsing victory every single day, you prepare yourself to recognize it and claim it when it finally arrives. Gratitude is far more than simply saying thank you. It's a conscious practice of seeing and appreciating what is already working in your life, even when circumstances appear challenging. When you develop the habit of gratitude, you begin to notice the subtle ways life supports you every single day. A comfortable chair, a warm meal, the chance to learn something new. These small recognitions accumulate, creating a powerful sense of abundance. Instead of dwelling on what is missing, your mind learns to focus on what is present and positive. That mental shift changes how you experience everything. From a psychological perspective, gratitude literally rewires the brain. Studies show that regularly acknowledging things you are thankful for activates neural pathways linked to optimism and happiness. This isn't a vague feel-good theory, it's science. By keeping a gratitude journal or simply reflecting each night on 3 things that went well, you train your mind to search for the constructive details of your day. Over time, this habitual focus on blessings rather than burdens builds resilience. Stressful events lose some of their grip because your attention naturally leans toward possibilities instead of problems. Gratitude also influences how you interact with others. When you express appreciation to people around you, co-workers, family members, even strangers, you strengthen relationships. People are drawn to those who recognize their efforts and their presence. A simple, sincere, "I value what you did today," can turn an ordinary connection into a lasting bond. These stronger relationships often lead to unexpected opportunities, career advancements, helpful advice, or support during hard times. In this way, gratitude becomes a magnet for cooperation and goodwill. Financial or material success often follows the same pattern. When you consistently appreciate what you already have, you make wiser choices about what you pursue next. Instead of chasing every new thing out of fear of scarcity, you act from a place of sufficiency. That calm confidence is attractive to potential partners, investors, or employers. They sense that you're not desperate. You're grounded. This stable energy makes it easier to negotiate, to plan long-term, and to stay disciplined with resources. Practicing gratitude also helps when life delivers inevitable setbacks. Suppose a project collapses or a personal goal takes longer than expected. Rather than spiraling into frustration, a grateful mindset allows you to find lessons in the difficulty. Maybe you discovered a hidden strength, gained new knowledge, or met someone who will be important later. Recognizing these silver linings doesn't mean ignoring disappointment. It means refusing to let disappointment define the experience. Daily rituals can make gratitude second nature. Each morning, take a few quiet moments to notice the gift of simply waking up, the air you breathe, the ability to think and move. During the day, pause to mentally thank anyone who helps you, from the cashier who smiles to the colleague who shares an idea. At night, review what went well, no matter how minor. These practices build a steady current of positive awareness that flows beneath all activity. Ultimately, gratitude creates a feedback loop. The more you appreciate, the more you notice to appreciate. This loop lifts your mood, attracts supportive people, and opens doors you might have missed while focusing on problems. It is not magic, it's a disciplined mindset that amplifies success. By embracing gratitude as a daily practice, you set in motion a chain reaction of positivity, resilience, and opportunity that makes everything else in life work more smoothly. A life built on the principle that everything will eventually work out demands more than optimism. It calls for continuous learning. This is where the true transformation begins. Continuous learning is not about collecting random bits of information or taking a course here and there. It is a deliberate, ongoing commitment to growth that allows you to adapt, improve, and thrive no matter what circumstances you face. When you dedicate yourself to lifelong learning, you equip yourself with the tools to turn obstacles into opportunities and setbacks into stepping stones. Think about how the world around us changes every single day. Technology advances, industries evolve, and new challenges emerge that yesterday's knowledge cannot always solve. If you remain static while everything else moves forward, you will eventually feel stuck or left behind. But when you actively seek new skills and fresh understanding, you stay relevant and capable. Each book you read, every skill you practice, every conversation with someone who knows something you do not, all of these moments expand your perspective and sharpen your ability to respond to the unexpected. Continuous learning is like keeping your mind in top physical condition. Just as an athlete trains muscles to stay strong and flexible, you train your intellect and creativity to remain agile. This habit also builds confidence. When you know that you can learn whatever is required, fear loses its grip. Many people shy away from challenges because they doubt their ability to figure things out. But if you trust your capacity to learn, you approach new situations with curiosity instead of anxiety. You may not know the solution yet, but you believe you can discover it. That belief alone changes how you behave. You take more chances, speak up with ideas, and pursue opportunities others might avoid. Over time, these actions multiply into meaningful success. Continuous learning is not limited to formal education. It happens in the everyday moments of life. It can be as simple as listening closely to someone else's story, asking thoughtful questions, or observing how a skilled person handles a problem. It can come from traveling to a new place, experimenting with a hobby, or reflecting on a personal mistake and analyzing what went wrong. Each experience becomes a lesson when you remain open and attentive. Even failures become powerful teachers. Instead of labeling an effort as wasted time, you examine it for insights. You begin to see that every misstep contains valuable data you can use to improve next time. This mindset feeds directly into the idea that everything works out for you because, if you are always learning, even an apparent loss becomes part of a larger victory. You gain knowledge, resilience, and perspective that prepare you for the next opportunity. It means that no experience is truly wasted. Life stops being a series of pass-fail tests and becomes an ongoing education where every chapter contributes to your growth. You stop fearing the unknown because you have trained yourself to learn from it. When you commit to continuous learning, you create momentum that carries you forward. Each lesson builds on the last, forming a reservoir of wisdom and skill that makes you more adaptable and resourceful. Over time, this habit transforms your outlook. You stop worrying about whether life will hand you the perfect circumstances because you know you can handle whatever arrives. That confidence, born from constant growth, is the quiet engine behind people who seem unshakably positive. They understand that no matter what happens, they will keep learning. And that is how everything truly does work out in the end.